Help me ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. So it's that time of the year. It's December, and what I do each year, I think this is probably the 4th or the 5th year now I've done this, is I go through my favourite decks of the year. I'm always mindful that there's still 3-4 weeks left of this year, and that decks could come in. I could get some for Christmas, but in the main, I think everything that's been on my wish list or whatever are decks older than this year anyway. So I think I'm pretty good to go and talk about my top 10 decks of 2021. So, and these aren't really in any particular order, because I look back over 2021 and there's almost 30 decks that I got this year that I believe were kind of released in 2021, or they may say, published in 2020, but by the time they were shipped, it was 2021. So I'm going with that as a kind of a benchmark to work at. So the first one that I want to mention is Tarot of the Divine Masculine. Now I feel like this deck in particular has been around for quite some time, because the creators reached out to me well over a year in advance of this deck and sent me some samples, which I immediately fell in love with. I think this is one of the most beautiful tarot decks ever made. And I just loved everything about it, from the production quality to the beautiful artwork. And so I didn't hesitate in backing this on Kickstarter. In fact, I was a patron backer because I really believed in it, and I really, really love this deck. It comes with this stunning book as well. It is what you'd class as a hardback book, but it's got this soft padded kind of cover on it, which is just beautiful. It's got full color images, and what I love about this, it's divine masculine. There are females in the deck, but it's exploring male sexuality. It doesn't shy away. As you can see, there's females as well. There's people who are non-binary. There's lots of different ages and body shapes. This picture here of the Hermit, I've got the original oil painting because the creators, as a kind gift, sent that to me for being a patron backer. But it's just stunning. Everything about this deck, as I say, body diversity, different ages. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And the guys as well are really, really friendly. Very easy to communicate with. This box is in the glorious rose petal finish. They did mention the 5 people who are patrons. Lovely design. You do get a little white book, so if you didn't back it on Kickstarter and get the beautiful book, it is black matte edged. Cardstock is wonderful, and as I said, it's that rose petal finish. I'm not quite sure why the fool's at the front, because this has been shuffled and used many times. I have bought this deck as well because I want to, I bought extra ones because the one has been a gift for somebody I've not been able to give yet. I'm waiting for their birthday, who has seen it and loved it. But yeah, really beautiful artwork. In terms of doing readings with this deck, it is so... because I look at the images and I don't necessarily see the RWS, but what I do see is so much depth. You just have to sit with them. I mean, look at this for a Knight of Wands. Look at the flames, the fieriness, the dedication to helping somebody, and real knight in shining armor there. I love the 6 of Cups. I think the 6 of Cups is a beautiful card. So yeah, it is just absolutely stunning. And there's a lot of decks out there about the divine feminine, and I'm grateful to that, I really am. But I don't know, I think sometimes creators have shied away from masculine type decks, but I think there's a place for it, and I was short on divine masculine, but very top heavy on divine feminine inspired decks. So Tarot the Divine Masculine, the Gate to the Secret Garden, is wonderful. I love it. I'm just going to have a sup of coffee. So the next deck, and I believe this was created in 2020 but issued in 2021, is the Bright Future Tarot by Saskia Lee. And Saskia, again, lovely individual. These cards, these are the backs, are so good quality, lovely matte cardstock. And they come in 2 different versions. And I love this carry case as well. Has the same sort of colour scheme and design for the backs, just perfect. And this carry case takes the book and the deck. So this version of the cards that I use in the main just has the titles on it. So it will just say 6, the Lovers. And I love this Lovers card. I love the fact that the Cupid there is a framed picture on the wall. Whereas in this deck, I'll probably be searching now, trying to, oh, look at the 10 of Pentacles. The artwork is exquisite in this deck. I really love it. Look at that King of Swords. Oh, the shadow. When you're trying to find a card, when the camera is rolling, it seems to take forever. It's probably going to be one of the last cards, isn't it? I should have started at the other end. Just goes to the end just to try and save a little bit of time. But at least you're getting to see the fabulous artwork in this deck. Oh, come on. Ah, here we go. So you can just see the difference here. Some people like keywords, some people don't. They find them too distracting. But the good thing about this deck is, you know, if you are learning the tarot, you do get a little prompt here. And I like the fact that the Lovers here is about decisions, which very much links back to more historic decks like the Marseille decks, where there's usually a choice to be made. But I tend to read with this version without the prompts and the keywords. But I mean, just the art is beautiful. Look at that Fool card. So full of energy. I love the little dog there. That leap going from one to the other is just off the pitch there. It's not leaping, you know, down into the abyss. It's taking that leap of faith to connecting from this rock to the rock there. And it's absolutely glorious. I love the Magician card. So I got this probably February, March time. I know later editions have replaced the Tower card. This is the cover of Time magazine. And I think a couple of other images have been changed as well. 10 of Pentacles is one of my favourite. I really love that. The little, you know, man's best friend curled up in front of the fire. Yeah, so it's a wonderful deck. Saskia did such a good job with this deck. And the book, I really enjoy the book. It's a chunky book, and there's quite a bit of information in there. You get keywords, but then you get some nice write-up about the cards, telling you about the scene, the story within the cards. Really lovely guidebook. So yeah, Bright, and it's classed as a workbook and a journal. So the Bright Future Tarot by Saskia Lee. Saskia is a psychic. I'm not sure if people are familiar with her work. So I'll just pop this back. And what I love about the Bright Future Tarot as well, it reminds me a little bit of Everyday Enchantment. It's very in the here and now. You know, it's a modern take on the the archetypes that we're used to seeing. It's brought them right up to modern day. Okay, so the next one that I wanted to mention is the Tarot of Crowley by Christoph James. I love these decks. I'm not a fan of Crowley. I'm not a fan of Thoth, as you're aware. But what Christoph did here was he took the RWS. Look at the background. The backs of the cards are gorgeous. He took the RWS and the characters that, oh, look at that as well. The characters that were around at the time of Aleister Crowley. This one is in order, the colour version. The black and white one isn't, because I use that quite a bit. But actually, I love the fact, I forget what they call this. I can't even pronounce it. Aquatant. Yeah, that's it. Aquatant. I can pronounce it. I love this because they do look like those old black and white photographs that you had coloured. There's a couple of me and my sisters when we were kids that were taken black and white and then coloured on top, and they do have this kind of effect to them. But this is just next level. What I love about this deck is the little things that are happening in the background. As you can see here, there's always things going on. It's not just what you see in the foreground. And when it comes to houses, and there's lots of houses in this deck, you have to look through each window just to see what's happening in there. Look at that, the chariot there, the horses there. There's lots of different things happening. It is just wonderful. I love that Hermit card. And Aleister Crowley makes an appearance in his many different guises throughout the deck. And as I said, those that were associated with him. It's a very famous Crowley picture, isn't it? We also have Arthur Edward Waite, Pamela Coleman Smith. You know, they were there in the Golden Dawn era. So yeah, it's a very, I love that, the Four of Cups. It's a very different deck, but it's wonderful, really wonderful. And if you want to see, let me just pop these back in. I'm going to say the difference between, these ones have the same backs, as you can see, but are, you know, proper black and white, grayscale. Look at that. So that's Tarot of Crowley by Christoph James. I'm grateful to have both versions. I'm not sure actually if this was released last year. I can't remember the time frame. It's not that long since I received this. It was in the summer. I think they're both this year, but if not, this one certainly is 2021. Okay, the next one that I wanted to mention is Moon Baby Tarot by Moon Baby, Brant Palazzo. I adore this. I backed it on Kickstarter. You get these kind of pull-outs that you can read like a booklet. And let me just grab it. Let me grab the one. I got a Kelly pouch to put mine in because she does them in these beautiful similar colours, the oranges, the pinks and the blues. There's lots of pinks in this deck, including the edging. So we get this beautiful pink. The edging never really shows up too much on camera. But this deck is a reimagining of the Hoi Polloi Tarot, which came out between 1971 and 73. Cardstock is exceptional. It's really, really good cardstock. But this was touched up, recentered, the imperfections made right, and then this beautiful colour palette applied. And it's just wonderful. It's based on Pamela Coleman Smith images, but redrawn. It was redrawn by the original artist back in the 1970s. But look at that devil. Ah, I love this deck so much. Let's skip ahead, look at the Three of Swords, a beautiful pink. So the colour schemes in this deck are just done so well. And Kelly's pouch really matches it perfectly. It's so delicious. If tarot was a food, this would be my main course. It's just gorgeous. So, wonderful deck. I've had lots of fun using this. I loved the hoi polloi, but I kind of had the hoi polloi in its box protected because it's 50 years old now. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I get quite nervous about using decks that are really, really old. Because, you know, they're harder to replace, and they're not cheap either. So having this version of the hoi polloi is just wonderful. But the quality is exceptional. Okay, so next to mention is a deck that I really enjoy using and have enjoyed using this year, and that's the Smith Tiny Tarot by Destiny. Now, Destiny have produced a number of decks this year. They're really bringing out some fantastic decks with incredible artwork. One of my other choices in the top 10 is also a Destiny deck, so big up to them. I know some people have felt that the shipping is quite expensive, and I get that because that's something we've had to cope with in the UK for a number of years when we buy from the States and things. We always have to add on our shipping and customs and everything else. But Smith Tiny is the RWS, again, it's been reimagined, but it's from a younger person's perspective. So there are some that call them cartoons. I wouldn't necessarily call them cartoons, but it just, I don't know, they're just easier to kind of, I guess, work with for younger people, or those of us that are child at heart. I love the edging on this deck. It's this beautiful glittery red metallic, which sets off the backs gorgeously. This one I reset, put back in order, because I did a side-by-side of the 2.0, which also came out later this year, which has a holographic effect, and I've been using that one, and not this one. This again has amazing cardstock, beautiful matte. I love the backs, but I like the fact that it's taken the well-known and well-loved RWS images and just been kind of, it's maintained all the symbols and everything else, but you know, and as I've said before, the question I probably get asked, the question I get asked the most is, how many tarot decks do you have? People seem quite obsessed with numbers. But then I get asked, you know, what would you recommend as a deck for my child or a relative of mine whose young person is just getting into tarot or wanting to get into tarot? And this would be my choice, but I enjoy working with this, you know? So I don't think it's just for children, but I do think it's a good one for children. But it can appeal to us at any age. I mean, how can you not love that devil card? I mean, cuteness overload, right? I'll just show the majors and a couple of minors. We do get an additional Happy Squirrel card. What we also got Where are they? They'll be in the box. What we also got was Pamela Coleman Smith, very famous picture here. In fact, this picture that we have here is based on this picture. I love it. Put her back up in her rightful place, looking over my space. And we also have Arthur Edward Waite, and then we have the William Ryder and Son publishing house, and then that's my certificate of authenticity. So I really love that as a nice little touch. Obviously I don't shuffle them into the decks, but it's nice to have them. I ought to make a little picture or something of them, perhaps get one of those frames that have 3 spaces. So yeah, very RWS because it's based, that's what it's based on, but it's got this beautiful colour palette, really beautiful warm colours. I mean, look at that rainbow. Lovely cardstock. ASMR tarot. So Smith Tiny, I couldn't not mention it as a favourite deck for 2021. The moment I got this, I instantly fell in love with it, and I couldn't put it down. And I did do a few videos explaining that, you know, this deck, and I kept going on about how wonderful it is, and it really is. So that's that one. The next deck I want to show is quite different. It's the Lux X Umbra. Trying to catch it in the light. Everything about this deck is just wonderful. So it says here on the back, light out of shadow. Now the only problem with this, it's got this rose petal finish, but it is on cardboard. It does very quickly take your finger stains, but it's gorgeous. And this is just the packaging. You get a little book, also rose petal. And the artwork in this deck, what's this? I forgot what this is. Oh, this is, I think it's just a little certificate or thank you card or business card. Yeah, it's signed and it says 605 of 840. So it's a little business card with a certificate. It also came with this beautiful embroidered bag. I mean, look at that. It's got the key from the Hierophant card. It also had a beautiful postcard which had the Hierophant card on it. Mystic is the company, so it says it on their bag. And this is a gorgeous velvet drawstring bag. These are the backs, which are, again, really beautiful. You've got these constellations. And I haven't seen a deck this gorgeous since, oh, what's it called? Not Black Enchantment. I've forgotten what it's called now. It will come to me. I'm sure everybody, the Arthur Wang deck. But look at the artwork. Again, rose petals, so just be careful of fingerprints. But the thing is, there's a light. This is directly under the light and you're getting no reflection at all. It's really, really beautiful. Not everybody likes the pips in this deck. I do. I think they're really, really gorgeous. But I get not everybody enjoys pip decks. Look at this with the Ouroboros. No, Aurora Borealis. So here's our 8 of Wands. It's quite different, but it's wonderful to work with intuitively. Really gorgeous. Look at that, the 10 of Cups. It's just stunning. I like the fact as well that they are colour associated. So we've got these blue colours for the cups. You can see here for the wands, you've got this fieriness. Here, we've got they use astrological symbols for the court cards. And again, there's a few comments about that. Lamats. But here's the pentacles, and look how gorgeous this is. Just beautiful. Our Lovers card. The red rose and the white rose. Beautiful. Again, the court card, we've got elements here and astrological associations. Here's our High Priestess, La Papesse. So it is using the old French titles of Marseille decks. Look at that for the Tower card. Isn't that beautiful? So the majors are quite different from the minors. The Star card. So, but I just think it's beautiful. Really gorgeous deck. Stunning, stunning artwork. I'm trying to find a couple more majors here. There you go. There's our World card. The Judgment card. Oh, look at that. Strength, La Force. Got all the elements in the palm of the hand. This is beautiful as well, really beautiful. Our Sun card, and when you put them together like this, the sun and the moon. But I have to say, I think the Hermit is just exquisite. So Lux X Umbra is also one of my favourite decks of 2021. Pop that there. Okay, so the next one to mention is, I'm struggling here because these came out at the same time and they both got their pluses and it's really hard. So the first one was Tarot Vintage, which was released by Lo Scarabeo. And I love this. You get this little book, multiple languages, because it's Lo Scarabeo. It's got this kind of orangey, off brown, burnt sienna type backs. I edged them and I love the edging on this. They feel like wood because they've got a lot of this orange kind of coloration in it. It's just stunning. And I thought, yes, finally a vintage RWS that is really appealing. Cardstock is wonderful. The aged effect isn't too, sometimes people slap on a filter to age it and it's too much, and this isn't. This looks like it's aging, quite gracefully. So there was that one, but then Conrad Stein, who did the CS Tarot, released this deck called Pam's Old Deck. Love the backs on these. I haven't edged this. I could edge it in like a teal or maybe a bottle green. And I love the aged effect on this, but rather than just having lots of oranges and browns, there's still some beautiful colours, but you still get this kind of aged effect, and it is quite slight. So I was like really torn. So I think if I was choosing between the two, this would be the one that would make it into the top 10. But if I was to cheat and have 11, then Tarot Vintage would be in there as well. So I guess an honorary mention for Tarot Vintage, but Pam's Old Deck takes the spot. Okay, so the next one is the Fortuna Tarot decks. I couldn't decide which one. I was sent this for the purpose of review, and she said to me, which one do you prefer? And I just said, I can't choose. They're both beautiful. So you choose, send me one and I'll be happy. And she sent both. From what I've seen online from people that have purchased it, this one tends to be more popular, I believe. And this is the Amethyst Aura. Yeah, the Amethyst Aura edition. Again, packaging is beautiful. It's rose petal, very soft, feels like suede, with this beautiful cold stamping that gives this kind of rainbow effect, the metallic rainbow effect. This is the inside of the box. Open the gates of occult knowledge, and you've got this lock here, and then on the inside of the lid you've got the key that fits the lock. I think that is brilliant. You do get a little book. It's quite substantial, quite a chunky little book. This is the creator, who is an absolute joy to communicate with. Now this deck isn't going to be for everybody, but it's got astrology, it's got Kabbalah. There is so much in this deck. I'm showing it you from the backs. These are the backs, which, look at that. Isn't that just one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen? And you can see here, look, here's the devil. Just gorgeous with the symbols. So there's quite a bit to take in. I wouldn't say this is an easy deck to start with. Here's our cups. But, you know, this as well, reading it by candlelight, is just gorgeous. Cardstock is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Look at that. So that's the Aqua Aura. Let me pop that back in there, and then I'll show you this version as well, which is the Emerald. And it's, again, really, really beautiful. So where does it say? Emerald Anima. And it's got like a copper metallic stamping here. Again, rose petal, really beautiful. I never read the back on the last one. The Fortuna Tarot deck is a 79 card deck designed to help you unlock your potential and turn your purpose into gold, combining ancient alchemical principles, tarot, numerology and astrology. So they're the symbols within this deck. I love that, you know, the purpose of alchemy, as it says here, you know, to turn your knowledge into gold. I really like that. Again, same design, but with this emerald green and like a copper gold. The book, these are the backs. So you don't get the same you know, rainbow effect, but you do get this beautiful green and gold combination together. This is what I showed you last time, which is oh, actually the lovers and the devil link. Let me, as you can see there, look, but we get the inverted pentagram here representing the devil. But I love the connection. Always look for the connection between the lovers and the devil card. Look how gorgeous that is, the universe card. And they come ready edged, as you can see. So the Fortuna decks take some working with, but absolutely beautiful. I pull it in the wrong way around. I put it in the lid. So they're definitely, they kind of go together because you can choose whichever version you want, but the Fortuna Tarot deck itself is my choice for the top 10. Okay, 2 left. I don't know if I'm cheating a bit with this deck. because this is the location Spirit of Place. And I received it this year, but I don't know if it's out yet. I know you can back it on Kickstarter, and I believe the Kickstarter has ended, and it way surpassed its funding goal. But this is so beautiful, and this became an instant favourite of mine. The idea behind the Spirit of Place tarot is that you get the scene. So here we have our full card, but on first impression, you don't see the figures within the cards until you turn it slightly, and then they appear. And it's called Spirit of Place, and they are kind of like this spirit that suddenly emerges onto the scene, and we see the little dog, we see the four that we would see in the RWS, and that is the same throughout the deck. Here's our magician, but looking at it face on, you don't see them at all. So it's great for pathworking. We talk a lot about pathworking and going into the cards, and very similar to the concept of, again, I'm struggling to come up with names of decks at the moment. I don't know what's up with me. True Black was the tarot I was trying to remember earlier, and the one I'm trying to remember now is the Spacious Tarot. Thank you. I don't know who I'm saying thank you to. But look at this. This is just so beautifully depicted. I mean, what a gorgeous High Priestess card. And then, as I say, as you turn her, she appears. Because there's no titles or numbers, you get this beautiful image, this artwork. Here we have our Empress card. Again, then our Empress appears, almost ghostly. The figures in the World card. Just gorgeous. So I love this deck, really love this deck, and I'm so pleased that it's achieved its funding on Kickstarter. So I don't know if people have started to receive them now or not. And these are some extra cards as well of the 7 Wonders of the World, Taj Mahal, Machu Picchu, etc. Yeah, so wonderful deck. So that is Location, Spirit of Place, also by Destiny, which was the creator of the Smith Tiny that I showed you a few minutes ago. And that leaves the final deck. How could I not mention Tarot of the Abyss by Anna Torian? Anna is such a beautiful person, and not only that, she is an incredibly talented artist. One of my favourite oracle decks is the Oracle of Echoes, which is by Anna, and there's an advertisement card in there for it. There is a second edition out now, but this deck I really connected with this year. I took it with me to Glastonbury when I went for the tarot meetup, because I think I got it beginning of August, and I wasn't able to put this down. It is a black and white deck, and I know not everybody's keen on black and white decks, but the detailing in this line work is phenomenal. It's such a gorgeous deck. It is very evocative when you sit and work with this deck and you look at the images. I mean, look at that for the Four of Cups. When you look at the images, oh, the Chariot is fab. Isn't that just incredible? Anna is the artist associated with Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot as well. Oh, just beautiful. Gorgeous. It's very fantasy. It's got lots of different cultural representations, but it also kind of goes into other realms as well, like the Fae. Oh, look at the Strength card. Possibly my favourite Strength card ever. And even from the first moment I did a walkthrough of this deck, there was just such, look at that perspective of the Three of Cups from the third person, or you as the third person. I was quite moved, really moved when I saw the images in this. So beautiful. Additional card, additional 10 of Swords, which I love. And an additional 3 of Swords. The cards that are often seen as quite difficult, there is alternatives for. So I do need to get a Kelly Bear pouch for my Tarot of the Abyss because I love it so much. So although I said that there weren't any particular order, I left this one to last because this is my #1 favourite tarot deck of 2021, Tarot of the Abyss by Arnatorian. So let's see what we've got. We've got Tarot of the Abyss. We have Location, Spirit of Place. We have the Fortuna Tarot decks. We have Honorary Mention Tarot Vintage, but Pam's old deck. Let me just move that candle a minute, else we're going to have a disaster. We have Lux X Umbra, Moon Baby Tarot, the Tarot of Crowley. We have Smith Tiny, Bright Future Tarot, and Tarot of the Divine Masculine. So, and there's a light now reflecting on them. That is my, let me just turn the camera down a little bit. That is my 10 favourite tarot decks of 2021. I'd love to see yours, as always. You know, each year people play along with this, so I hope you will again this year. I'd love to see your top 10. It doesn't matter if you're a content creator or not. If you're not, you can leave your top 10 in the comments below, or you can come into the Facebook group, The Hermit's Cave, and play along in there. Let us know your favourite decks of the year. Or if you do, let me know that you've recorded a video if you are a content creator, and I'll come and have a look. But thank you for watching, thank you for your time, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.